Okay, this is a continuation of the data modeling exercise. In the previous exercise, we have started by creating info objects. We created a couple of key figures, and these were revenue and sales quantity. And we also created two characteristics, the product category and the material. The last thing that we did was the material. We made sure that under general, the length is 18, and that under the master data text, this I think we might have skipped that that step, in that we will not be entering the data manually, but rather we will specify the info area here as the source, as our source of data, and that is MU12. MU12 right here, and then your number. Mine is 044, so MU12 044. You will have to choose yours. You want to make sure that you are switching to the editing mode, otherwise it will not allow you to make changes. So now let's try and put MU12 044 and hit enter and save it. Under the attribute, we have product category as one of the attributes. And we add the other ones, the MU0s. These are the ones that already come from the university curriculum. The component, the color, the sales price, and transfer price. And then the last thing we added was the division, and we made that a navigation attribute, and we said that navigation attributes allow you to do OLAP on them, so that you can drill, you can add them as either rows or columns. Okay, so now we are ready to do the info cube. So we are going to activate that. So now all of our info objects are activated. Okay, now we are going to create the info cube. So we'll right click on our info area, and for me it is TSU 044. Yours would be TSU, and as we said, the last 3 digits of your user ID that's published under the gradebook. So now the info cube, as we said, is an info provider. It's a source. So we are going to highlight info provider on the left, and then your info area, which is TSU, and then your last 3 digits, and you are going to choose create an info cube. So your info cube name would be MU12, and then R1, and your number that's published, as we said, under the gradebook, the last 3 digits. Mine is 044. The technical name would be MU12 044, and then GBI reporting. You want to choose that it is a standard info cube, that it stores its data in the database. And now we're ready to create it, so we'll click on the create button. If you want to hide the navigator for now, you'll just click on this one. Now on the right side, you're going to define your info cube, and we do that by assigning info objects in the dimensions and key figures folder. These are the objects that you have created. So whether they are key characteristics like the sales and the revenue, or they are characteristics like you have defined the product category, we'll now assign them to the info cube. Okay, first step will be to create the dimensions, and as we said, there are 3 dimensions that come already predefined in an info cube. These are the data package, the time and unit. Okay, and now you have dimension 1 that you will actually add. So you will highlight it and right click on it and choose properties. And instead of the description being dimension 1, we are going to change it to product. Okay, we want to create other dimensions, so we'll right click the dimension folder to add a customer dimension. So that we'll click on create new dimension. We'll name it, as we said, customer. Now we want to add characteristics, so the ones that we have created, material and customer, from already the catalog, the UCC, to our dimensions. So we'll go and look under the info object catalog. And you can see these are the ones that we have created, the characteristics and key figures. So since we want to add characteristics, we're going to double click the characteristics folder. If you open that folder, you should see the material that you have created and the product category. So we want to drag now the material to the dimension product. So now you see material being defined under product. Now we want to add the customer characteristic that's already defined in the UCC, so we have to choose another info object catalog, not the one that we have created. So we need to choose all info objects. And now we want to find the MU0 customer. So here is it. So now we want to add that one to the customer. Okay, let's save these steps. So for the dimension product, we have added material as we've added material, and for the dimension customer, we've added the customer characteristic. Material was already, we have defined material, but for customer, it is already defined under the UCC. So for the time now, for the time characteristics, we want to add the calendar year, the calendar month, and calendar month 2 to the time dimension. So here is the calendar year. And the calendar month. And the calendar month only. So we have year, month, and we have month only. So these are the three characteristics of time that you add to the dimension time. Okay, next we are going to choose the key figures. And if you remember, we have defined two of them. These are like the sales quantity and the revenue. So now we want to add these two to the key figures in here. There are other key figures that are defined in the UCC again catalog. So we need like to list all of the info objects. And we're going to add discount, net sales, and cost of goods manufactured. Easiest thing is just like to search. So we know that the key figures, the discount is MU0 discount. And here is it. You just drag it to key figures. The next one is net sales. And the last one is cost of goods sold. So it should look like this now, with we've added 3 things to the time: the calendar year month, and calendar month. For the product, we have added material, which we've actually defined. For customer, we've added the UCC customer characteristic. And then for the key figures, we have sales quantity, revenue. These were defined, we defined them. And then we use the UCC catalog in order to add discount, net sales, and cost of goods manufactured. So now let us put everything into now perspective. What this is saying is that I can view sales quantity, or revenue, or discount, or net sales, or cost of goods sold, cost of goods manufactured, either in terms of material. So for a particular product, I can see how much did I sell, how much revenue I realized, how much discount did I give, what was my net sales, what was the cost of goods manufactured for that particular material. You can also show the same information, but for customer. So for a particular customer or particular region or a group of customers, you can show how much did you sell, what was the revenue realized, how much discount did you give them, what was the net sales, and what was the cost of goods manufactured. Now, the next step is to make sure that we choose specific characteristics or attributes as navigational attributes. So we want to be able to navigate by division, by product category, by country key, and by sales organization. So if we go under navigation attributes, I want to make sure that division is chosen, the product category, the sales organization, and the division. So you can drill down, for example, for the country. If you remember that exercise you did under the multidimensional reporting, you were able to restrict, for example, for Germany only, or for the US. Same thing for the sales organization. You were able to see either east or west. And then for the division or the product category, you wanted only to see bikes or e-bikes. So when you choose these attributes as navigation attributes, that means they're not just displayed, you can actually perform online analytical processing on them. The last thing, after we have already now defined our info cube, we can activate the info cube and show the navigation display after the activation. So I should see my info cube, my characteristics, my key figures, all there appearing. So let's go ahead and activate. So it tells you that MU12R1044, that's the info queue, has been successfully activated. So go ahead and look at the navigation. And now I see the info cube. See the icon in here of the cube. The cube is there now. And underneath it, I can see material as an attribute and as a text. So that's the end of the first exercise. The next one will be to actually load the data from our data sources into the info queue. Thank you all for listening, and I'll meet with you again in the ETL exercise.